Hello, today we're doing Alzadaal's Legacy, the 6.1 dungeon for the MSQ. So this is not a very difficult dungeon. Interestingly, there's a few interesting parts in the trash. Certain groups are hard to double pull. We'll try to, at least in my testing, I found double pulling unreliable in some of the. We'll try to get two groups here. You have to be careful here because there's a AoE appears and we have to exactly go back very quickly. So here it's a bit tricky, as you can see, because Graha is taking a lot of damage. I can help a bit. So we double pull these first two groups, but we won't be able to do this everywhere. In particular, as the trust NPC tend to bug, and they have certain monsters who have some summoning ability that is better to take one by one. Alright, this is the first two groups. I think we can take the next two as well together. And they are closer to each other, they should be close to each other. Yeah, they are. So you have to be, if you are inside those AoEs, you die, so very important to avoid them. I was poorly positioned here. This is take quite a bit of time to clear. A lot of HP here. Alright, we're almost done there. So the first boss is not easy. I think, perhaps I would say this the hardest, but it's pretty clear because it's a bit there's a bit of tolerance in the area, but it's clearly one to get. So you need to jump in the river here that appears. So what's going to happen is that it's going to use its two tentacles to attack, make some huge AoEs, and it will be very small safe spot over the border. I think a good way to do this here is to perhaps mark the tank and follow the tank during those phases. Don't mark your Yandere or Ishtola because they tend to teleport. They're cheating, so better not follow them actually. Even the cheating part. Okay, so nothing special at the beginning. So I think, yeah, big wave. That's group AoE with a bleeding effect. Now that's the main mechanic, tentacle dig. Look, we're following Gracia here. So there's only one tentacle there, so you see it's a pretty big AoE. And after the first one, you start to use two at the same time. So the safe spot is quite small, but again, we follow the triangle here. That should be the best strategy. Alright, same again, tentacle did two triangle. We look at the triangle here, where it's going to go. This way. Alright, Toxic Fountain. These are circle that appear the order they appear. So you go in the last one and you go into the middle. So in this mechanic, you have to look the circled who appear first, disappear first. So I think it's a frequent mechanic you see in many fights, particularly in more recent dungeons. Okay, big wave. That's again the AoE. Alright, tentacle dig. So again, we're going to stay next to Gracia here and follow him. So this, as long as you follow the tank on that uh, mechanic, I think it's really not a hard fight. But I think it requires to be quite quick. I think we may see again this one, the Toxic Fountain. So again, first one is last. So this one is going to disappear first, and then we move to the safe spot. Right, and then we're done for this boss, and that's the AoE. And now we are going to go below the sea using the passage. We click on the teleporter, and we go underwater. And now we're in this very nice palace underwater. You can see underwater sceneries and fishes outside. So here we will not double pull, we're going to do this one alone, and you're going to see why after the next group. I'll explain what's happening in the next row. I don't think it's impossible to do two groups, but I think based on my testing beforehand, I think it's you definitely risk wiping because the tank takes too much damage. Right, the last one. So let me explain now what's happening in the next room. So you see, as you see, there's only one enemy at the moment, which is Portal. Now this Portal is going to summon more enemies, so you have to kill it as soon as possible. So instead of going AoE, as we usually do, we put all single DPS on this one. So if you do this, it would only summon two groups. I think I was never able to killing before it summons two groups. You see, he's on half HP. But at least if you continue, it would not summon three groups, just two. So kill this portal first, and now it's dead. And after that, you go back to the AOE and you kill the monsters. So if you are too slow, you will get three groups. So that still should be doable, but will take quite a bit of time more time to kill. So again, best to just kill the portal. Only get two groups. That would be a significant time gain. And this is going to be the same repeated. Again, we kill this group. We do not double pull here. Second chest here with some materia, I believe. No, some equipment. Okay, so the same here. There's only one enemy at the beginning, and you focus all the attack on this enemy first. And again, the goal is to kill it before it casts reinforcement 3 times. We could have used limit break potentially. Okay, so like we actually were either too slow or we didn't get enough help from the trust, but we actually had 3 group summons. Which I got the impression it was also, I had more HP than the first one, which is possible. See here, Grazie, I see quite a bit of damage. We're going to pull through on this one. Alright, so we are into the second boss, which is also quite tricky. So perhaps let me explain a bit before we go in. Um, they're going to have some laser firing from the side, and he's going to put some shield that are going to be reflective of the shield. So you'll see it will first demonstrate the mechanic where you have a quarter of the arena which is safe, and as the fight progresses it would be a very small area because if, for example, it's going to fire everywhere here and in diagonal, so you only have like this half diagonal of safe. Basically, imagine you draw a line from this point to this point, and it's a kind of triangle. So that's the only point it would have to be. So this is one where we also will be trying to follow Gracia. Um, it's a very again precise as you see the fight progress. So you have to pay a lot of attention to the positioning. Say we'll be more on the Gracia side here. So you see we have to position ourselves here away from the two shields. See where it's positioned there. And now we move on the other side again. Let me zoom out a bit and you can see how it looks like. So again, his shield is reflecting the laser from the side. So that's the tricky part. It's AoE diffusion ray. Alright, so this is not safe here, not safe here. You're going to be reflected there. So you see it's a pretty small area. Again, we follow Gracia here. The spread mechanic here. We were touched by the ray here, so we get actually a bleeding debuff again, can't be dispelled. Typically the safe zone is going to be, you see next to the shield which is there, this is going to be a small area which is going to be just next to the shield. AoE again. So again, you see only one main mechanic in this fight, but I would say quite a bit of precision required to avoid it. Again, you see again articulated bits. And we look at the shield. See, we were touched. Following the chest member is not easy. You can be slightly late. Right, so we have the last part of the dungeon. So here we're also going to be careful about double pulls because they are quite far away and the trust NPC tend to bug out when we try to double pull. We'll see if we can do anything here. I think we can do it here, we can't do the next one, so let me just take those there. This thing stands on top. I thought I would take the damage to keep the... Yeah, almost finished here. All right, so the next we're not going to double pull. I did try to double pull before, and then it didn't work. So my suggestion is to just do this one by one, as though, particularly because those chests trigger and become monsters, mimics. Just take this group in one go. Don't double pull here. These mechas really have a lot of HP, plus they don't land themselves very well. They also do a lot of damage, which is something people would know if they've done Palace of the Dead. And then we have the last group here. The reason we don't double pull it, what happened to me is because of those wall and those room. The trust member tend to get stuck, and there's some line of sight issue with the healing, and they die. So, well, if you want to try, you're welcome to, but it worked pretty poorly for me. I think on a couple tries, and it was not really conclusive. Particularly the mimic do a lot of damage. Uh, so as soon as there's some kind of an error in the healing, then the tank goes down very fast. Not an issue you would have in a normal group, but here I think it's more due to the AI issue of the trust. Right, that's just here. And there we also would need to follow a bit Gracia and some mechanics, so we're going to keep our triangle there. So there's two mechanics here, one which is quite unique, and another which is really simple, but if you have to pay attention. So first, don't be on the side. You see, it becomes uh, with some spikes. So you have to stay in the middle. Alright, so spin out is going to draw us next to him and transform it into little spins. And then you have to spin around while avoiding the spikes. Now be careful because you have some inertia, like a. So I think you can't just control yourself normally. You have to think as if you had inertia. This was a test run, and I think in the subsequent phases it's going to have a more spike in the middle. Plus, it's going also to use some AOE's that you have to avoid. But the first one is not too hard. The first one is really to show you how it works. And now is going to go to his second main mechanic. So this is way called wide weave. So he's making some colors, clothes. Some are yellow, some are green, and you see here he's touching the green one. So we have to be on the yellow. So the green one exploding, and the yellow yourself. You can also follow the triangle for this mechanic. We'll follow him next time. I just wanted to show you a bit how it works. First the spread here. We probably will have the second spin out coming soon. Here it is. So you see this time that there are more zones which are with spikes, so we can avoid spikes. It's going to use AoEs. You have to try to stay out of the AoEs. And the control is hard here. You have some level of inertia. So okay, let's try to we fail here. At least we went out of the AoE, but we still got the spikes. It's not a huge issue if you touch the spikes even one or twice. Let's see. The debuff is not particularly damaging. Okay, this is Wild Weave again. This time we're going to follow the triangle to show you how it works. So again, it's touching a green, so we have to go to a yellow one. And there's a spread. Fight is almost over. I think we're going to have the last spin out. Going to slow DPS here to see spin out one more time, if you can survive. No, another Wild Weave. Wow. That was it. Thanks for watching.